here, and YouTube's here, and you're live.
Hi, as
And
I settle
I,
back down.
I will be back in a second.
So I'm Laura, and I'm here for Tarot Talk, which I started last week, and it was a lot of fun. I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and I think that I might have even covered it last week, but just one of the things that really drew me to tarot was the aspect of storytelling with it. I come from a storytelling background. I started off wanting to be an actress. I've done things with writing, I've done things with unscripted. And a lot of it in filmmaking is like dealing with images and dealing with words and kind of figuring out how to put things together. And so that is what I feel like kind of drew me to tarot was you're dealing with different archetypes and visuals, but there's also putting certain words with visuals together that I think is really powerful. And that's something that I resonate with. And, just looking at whether we're dealing with it's Rolly. You joined us again. I'm so excited. I'm just talking really quick about story, which I feel like I might have done last week, but I'm doing it again. Um, Even just in, you have the journey through the major arcana. You start with the Fool, you go through and you end on the World. But even when you look at the different suits, everything is a journey, and with that, everything is a story. And so it's it's a really cool tool to explore that with ourselves and with each other. And look who else is joining us today. Hi.
Say hi,
Are
Leah.
you here for tarot talk too?
No touching the computer
Hi.
though. You say hi? Yeah.
Rolly, since you're here, thinking about tarot and story, is there anything specific? And Sophia's here. Sophia's back. I was going to say, is there anything specific that kind of comes to mind with you when thinking about story with tarot?
Um, like story as in like our life story or like because I obviously missed the beginning of your
Well, I guess
little
I was saying like I come from a storytelling background, and I was saying that with that, I find a connection to tarot because you're dealing with images, but you're also dealing with words that kind of communicate to people what's coming up with those images. So there's an aspect of like bridging together the visual, but also communication and language and things like that. And I was saying that that was something that I feel drawn to with it. So I was just kind of curious, not that there's anything specific, but just through that idea of kind of journey and story, if there's anything that pops to mind for you, and it might not, but if it does.
well, and I think that there really is that part of it because like it's that because we are journeying, and so as we're journeying it's going part of our like part of our storytelling. And I know that when like so doing conventional social work type work over the years, that was one of the things is that we you're not supposed to talk about your stories. You're not supposed to talk about your background. And so traditionally coming from both sides of my family's tradition is that that is part of who we are is storytelling and telling about like where we came from and how we've learned through things and how we've done things um and so that was one of the things that was really, really challenging initially because it was like, you're not supposed to talk about your story. You're not supposed to talk about what it is that's going on for you. And because when you're talking about what's going on for you, the premise is that you're taking away from the people who you are working with. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about like the journey and the situations and how this applies to me and how this has helped for my uncle or
Right,
that kind of thing is that it's much different than um just being able to like just talking about your own issues or talk about your own
right.
whatever it is that doesn't even apply to what it is that's happening. it's different. And so using
Yeah.
tarot, I really do find that it has that link. And so like it's like, oh, okay. So and especially if you're journaling. So if you journal your cards, so like if
Mm-hmm.
you're pulling your cards and you're doing whatever and you're journaling through and you go back and it's like, oh, this card keeps coming back up for me. And sometimes it comes up for you, and I think you talked about that a little bit last week, that it comes up in a different format or like in a
Mm-hmm.
different
Yeah.
so it's the same card that comes up, but it comes up in a different context. And so then you kind of go back and you get to see that story of like how things are unfolding or where it is. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I was at a crossroads and I pulled some
Right.
cards and the crossroads or the cards helped me decide that I'm going to take this route instead of that route.
Right.
And we obviously don't know what would happen if you would have taken the other route, but it still gives you that insight to kind of go back and look at like where did it come from, what was happening,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um and being through. And like so we talked about the cycles last week as well, that like
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming back full circle 11 years later. And
Yeah.
so it's just like this different
Yeah.
journey and this different situation. Yeah. So
I was
I
kind of
really do think
curious
that it's
from
great.
the reading last week what you've seen kind of transpired over this week. And I know when we talked about, I think it was at if it was at the heart medicine last week, we were talking about how you were
Yeah.
even with your daughter, I believe, maybe we're having these conversations. But I'm curious from the reading last week if there was anything that kind of came up from you during the week.
Um, it's it really is that insight. Like for me, it really is that insight of having that understanding of where did it come from, what's happening, where is it
Hmm.
going, and you want down? And where like how can the journey look different this time? And
Yeah.
so because it's this it's similar, but it's not the same. And so
Right.
like how does it look different than it did the last time? How is it that it is so it's really given me a lot to be able to think about how to um navigate that piece and like really kind of like taking a step back of what am I going to do differently
Hmm.
when certain circumstances of the same type of scenario is coming forward. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Sophia, would you like to? I was going to ask you in the same way I talked to Rolly last week. I was just curious, real quick, of like if you use tarot or even oracle in your practice, if you use any kind of divination, or if it's something that you kind of look to for other people.
I have used it, but I don't use it all the time.
Yeah, not on the regular.
And I'm not using it now, no, because I'm very interested.
Hmm.
But it's just because I'd have to see so focused on
Hmm.
Sacred You and that stuff. It would probably be a good idea if I did start to bring it back in from a practice.
Right.
Could actually help. That could actually help. But no, not at the moment anyway.
Well, we have our different things. Is there anything that either of you would like are curious about? Would you like to ask any questions or see anything that comes up with the cards?
I'll let Roller go if she wants to, because she's here if you wish to.
Rolly, anything that you're curious about?
And then we'll see what's happening online.
I don't know if she can hear us.
Can you hear us, Roller? Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
you can. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking because there's lots of things that I'm curious about. I'm
Yeah,
just
you're
trying
like,
to like
what?
on something um that I can like be specific about.
Mm,
Hmm. So kind of shifting gears is because like
Mhm.
we were talking about, like last week was like about like the cycle of family that's kind of come up and
Yeah.
things like that. So um the so like over the next few months business wise, so like how
Mm.
um I'm just trying to think of something that is like more because like I don't have a specific question because things still need to unfold as they
Yeah.
need to, but like is there somewhere that I need to be focusing more
Mm.
in the
With
next three
business.
months? So like just kind of like
Yeah.
direction.
Okay.
Like
Um,
does that
that does
I'm
make
just
sense. Yeah, because I'm okay if it's not too specific. Usually if you just tell me something that you're curious about, we can see like what the energy's coming up with it. But with your business, kind of seeing maybe what the energy that's coming up with it, an area of focus,
yeah.
maybe some guidance. Okay. It's funny. Um, okay. So
That's
you're I
I was just
what?
gonna say that was I actually was I thought I was said something but I was muted. So I was just gonna say it's always interesting when you pull cards and it's like, oh, funny, right? So it's like, oh, look at that one, right? Like so it's like I know that when I'm pulling my own cards, it's kind of like, okay, look at that.
I know it's like funny when the cards go up, and I'm like terrible at hiding my facial expressions or my reactions at all. So it's like I'm always like, oh, that's funny. It's interesting because the first card I pulled was what the energy is reading now, which is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And it's kind of interesting because the sense of it, there's a sense of instability and instability in the presence. But it's even though I know we're not talking about the home, what initially came up with it was the home, and that there's like a sense of instability in the home that might be influencing whatever it is that's currently going on with your business and like getting it going, like trying to get it off the ground. And so that kind of came up initially. An area of focus, what I loved about this is where I laughed, is that you have the Eight of Swords in reverse. And, I kind of think about this card and the sense of it is like getting yourself free. Like your area of focus is freeing yourself, especially on the mental side and whatever it is that's kind of like happening where because there is a feeling of like there's a feeling of not perhaps like not having the mental energy or the mental space to really be giving to this. And I know we've talked about this before, but there is like you're putting together, or at least we've talked about you putting together like I don't know if it was lesson plans, but putting together things that for what you're doing. And so you need an aspect of brain power and you need thought and you need that. But it's just funny because I was like the area of focus, it was like essentially like, yeah, you need to get yourself free.
So and what's really funny is like literally or like just earlier because I'm not sure where everybody else is time wise, but for me it's we just finished having dinner not that long ago. It's baby's almost bedtime, and I was just telling my husband, I'm like, okay, well, I set up outside because I thought I had a call that was supposed to happen at 6 p.m. And I said, but I apparently I had the wrong time. And so I'm like, so like not a big deal. I said, but if you're okay with it, I'm gonna go and just continue to just kind of like get some work done that I didn't get done. I said, because by the
Mm-hmm.
time that Leah goes to bed, I am exhausted and I have like no brain
Yeah.
power. Like literally, I
Yeah.
said I have no brain power to like I have like zero mental capacity by the time that I'm good to go. And so when it's quiet. And so it was just really funny that those are like so when you're like, oh, that's funny. Well, it's even more funny because like
Yeah,
those were
because
the
of
exact words that I used, like
yeah.
literally, like not more than like 2 hours ago. So like
That
that's
makes
like
sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For a guidance card, and I really love this, you have the Queen of Cups. And it's funny because I think even though this was like talking about we were talking about getting free and especially with the mind and kind of with your thoughts. Um, what I feel with the Queen of Cups is like that intuition and tapping into that intuition and that there might be answers there for you, both in like what you need to do for work, but also what you might need to shift within the instability at home or even just like with your balance of energy. There's a feeling of like intuition is coming in strong. Like I really feel
yeah,
it strongly of like as a guidance, there's like not, part of taking that time is listening to your inner knowing because there what it is that you need and there's answers there both for the work and how to really get your where you need to be with your business but also what you can do in your own home environment to get what you need. And like you said, you already kind of did it because you communicated to your husband. And so it's like, but there's a very strong sense of like intuition there that I can feel as a guidance card. I got to sit
well,
with the last
and
one.
again,
Oh, go ahead.
well, and again, it fits really, really well because like or not today, this week we had I had a meeting with the with child services about the situation scenario, like all
Hmm.
the things that were going on. And one of the things that I said to her is that I'm going to look into, because we've talked about whether or not we're putting her in daycare, that kind of thing. And like home wise, like that's not necessarily like that's not necessarily necessary, but
Yeah.
then it's kind of like, but having a couple of days a week where she's like at daycare for like a full day or like
Yeah.
3 half
Yeah.
days or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like I then have that ability to be able to just go to my desk and just do what I need to do without
Yeah.
interruption, without having to worry that she's going here or that she's going, because my mom will take her as well, but like just being able to just go and just know that she's where she needs to be and she's getting
Yeah.
stimulated. And so again, it's like that, like really? Okay, really? So it's like, yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So for the outcome card, and I need to sit with this one for a moment because it's a Six of Swords. Um, and it's kind of interesting because what I feel with this is that like the Six of Swords, it's the Six of Swords in reverse. And so upright, the Six of Swords can often mean like going on from chaotic waters and going into new territory and perhaps like less chaotic waters. But just like it speaks of a leaving of something behind and going into new territory. With the reversal, I feel like it's kind of fascinating because I kind of feel like we've already touched on it, but it really speaks to you finding those calm waters in your own space. Like instead of it being like a journey where you're going elsewhere, it is like you already kind of talked about it with like potentially figuring out something with daycare. But with the outcome and the future energy is almost like there's there's a key the answer is not necessarily going to new territory. It's finding the new territory in the space that you're in. Like it's finding how to create what you want and how to find the calm waters where you are and like find the answers where you are. And so, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to me because I was like, we've kind of talked about it loosely over it, but it's like,
Yeah.
and you're already, and we talked about this last week too. It's like a lot of times when you're reading the energy, you're literally reading the energy of what's coming up. And so a lot of it is stuff that's already in motion for you. And I feel
Yeah.
like it kind of is just serving of a confirmation for you for like what you're doing and the steps that you're taking. But I would say that like I would at least be in mind of you you might not find calm waters, but you will still find what you need to do
Yeah.
what you need to with your business. That's what I kind of feel with the Six of Swords in reverse.
So, and I just feel like that whole conversation about like the storytelling, right? So it's like all of the, right? So it's just kind of like filling in
Oh
the
yeah.
gaps of all the
Yeah.
things. Okay, so yes, I've got this. Yes, there's this insight. Yes, there's these other conversations that are happening that are like true to what it is that's happening. And like you would not have known the conversation that I had with my husband like not more than 2 hours ago, but
No.
yet you found
No.
it hilarious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sophia?
No, sorry. Yeah, I did want to interrupt. Thank you, because we do have people listening in on the website, and
Okay.
Catherine and Jessica. Catherine has just put a comment which I'll read.
Okay.
Jessica, if you'd like a reading, please pop it in. You just ask in the comments below, or if you have a specific question, that would be good. That's all.
Okay, cool.
So
Sorry, Rolly, go ahead.
when you're ready. Okay,
Do
so
you,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
is there, sorry, I know I interrupted, but are you still talking to Rolly, or would you like to read?
I just want Rolly to finish her thought and then I'll be open to
Yes,
taking somebody else.
yes.
Because we
yeah,
were just
so like
talking
it's
about the
and like
fact that, okay, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say what we were talking about, the fact that like there are conversations we did not have beforehand, but there is an aspect of that coming up in what's being read and what's happening on your end.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that. And like I said, it really ties into that initial conversation that you had about stories, like the storytelling and using tarot,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah,
does
with
tell the
that.
story.
Hmm. Yeah, no,
I
there's
love that.
very much a story here. Like there's a sense of like, there's instability, you're getting free. It's an answer as to how, but also that freedom doesn't mean that you're not going to have rough waters. You know, like part of that
Yeah.
freedom is like learning how to find, what is it, the calm in the storm. So it is kind of funny that you have like a story happening even just here.
Yeah. Beautiful. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Sophia, what do you got?
So Catherine is just asking for a general reading.
Okay. All right, I'm going to do a 3-card pool. I'm going to do a past, present, future for Catherine. Is it Catherine with a K or Catherine with a C?
Catherine was to see Catherine Christani. Catherine, you might even know Catherine. She's the host of our Empowered Entrepreneurs Tribe,
I think I've seen her
and
before. I've
she
not met her.
does a lot of wisdom circles.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to do a past, present, and future. I'm going to sit with this for just a moment. It's funny because the present and the future card seem a little bit clearer to me. Whereas the past, I want to sit with a little bit more because even though I have a sense of it, it's not as clear as what these other two, and not, I say clear, but like clear in terms of what's coming up. Um, so you got for the past, we'll start with that one. You've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And the feeling of this is that like there in the past you had planted seeds and you had like taken steps for yourself, but there was a little bit of like impatience with how quickly things were moving along. Like maybe you weren't able to get like the fruit was not bearing in the way or in the timeline that you were wanting it to. But there's like a sense of and with it being pentacles, there's a feeling of money, there's a feeling of like work and income. I don't necessarily feel home. It does feel a little bit more money and income related. Um, but it's very much this sense of like you put in the work and you put in the effort and you planted seeds, but things didn't necessarily come out in the way that you were wanting it to. Perhaps there was disappointment, perhaps maybe even something felt unfinished. It is in the past position, so it's something that is either behind you that might still be coming up now. And I'm kind of curious if it's coming up as a fear, just based on your present card, which I'll get to in a second. But there is this sense of like it's either energy leaving or it's energy of the past. So it's not something that is happening to you now or is going to continue happening. Your present card is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And so part of why I was saying that like that could be whatever it was that was going on in the past could be still influencing you now is because there's a sense of like a new opportunity before you, especially with maybe an opportunity with income, with finances. There's a new path that's before you, but there's a little bit of like resistance to it or a block. It's perhaps not something, maybe you're hesitant with it. That was why part of me was curious is like, is there a past experience where things weren't able to get off the ground in the way that you wanted to that could be influencing you now? But there's the feeling with this card is that the opportunity is there. And I like it's yours for the taking. I don't necessarily like that phrase, but it's available to you. And there's a feeling with it that like there's a good feeling with it. Whatever the block is, whatever the resistance or the hesitation, take your time to work through that because whatever it is that is being presented to you, like there's alignment. There's a sense of like an opportunity there that can be good for you and where there can be a lot of alignment. Your future card is the Nine of Swords in reverse. For me, the sense with this is sort of like getting out of your own head, but you're coming out of um, not a literal sense of depression, but whatever it is that could be looming over you that is causing stress, that is causing anxiety. Um, there's an opportunity to move beyond it. Whether it's like getting clarity on things that kind of helps that allows you to let go, allows you to have release. But there's a sense of like relief coming, like whatever the dark, like if there's been a dark cloud, whatever that looks like for you, you are going to be moving through that. Like you're going to be, and maybe it does come with this, maybe it comes with as you kind of slowly move through whatever the blockages are here, maybe that helps ease some of the stress and the anxieties. But there's a sense of that with your future, whatever this like, whatever the things are that might be causing you extra stress and anxiety, they will dissipate. That is the feeling that I have. Let me know if you have any more questions with that.
Thank you. Catherine is saying that it's accurate for the past.
Mm.
3 minutes ago. So, and I was just typing a message to Catherine. So, Catherine, if you're still listening to us, you're welcome to join us in room 2 if you like, because you are a member.
Oh yeah.
Room 2 is.
Come on in.
So if you wish to, you don't have to, you can stay on the website and do that stuff, which is great for our website. But as you remember, we can also thank you. So anything else for Catherine, Laura, at the moment?
Not right now. The only thing I was thinking of is I want to go back to the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which is your present card. My energy, my kind of attention is really being drawn to the cloud and like the hand coming out of the cloud. And there's that sense of like a message from the universe. There's be open to like there could be communication trying to come through for you from the universe with whatever it is that's trying to present. And so that's just something that I wanted to kind of add is I was feeling pulled to those clouds. in that sense of like there might be something coming out of the coming from spirit and universe, whatever language you use. There's a message for you. So in whatever way you seek that out or can be open to it, I would encourage that.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. We've also got a question from Mary. She's saying, may I have a reading about my health, please?
Reading about health.
Mm.
All right, let me see. I'm going to do another 3-card spread. I'll do a present, kind of like seeing, I say present, I'm going to see where the energy, what the energy is reading. I'm going to say a guidance and an outcome, just to kind of see what information we can get there. And so this is, what was the name again?
Mary.
Mary. All right, I'm going to sit with this for a moment. All right, I'm going to start with the first card that I pulled, which is the energy that's the present energy, kind of like what is currently presenting with it. You have the Page of Wands, and I know that you talked about health. I might be talking about health. I'm not, we'll see. But the thing that is coming up with this card, there's a sense of like childhood. There's a sense of like a child like energy, but also like a dimmed fire, like being unable to like something wasn't fully able to come to light, like something, and maybe it is something from your childhood that wasn't fully, especially like wands have to do with manifestation and creation and power. It also has to do with action. Um, the energy and the feeling that is coming up in this card feels like a dimmed light, and that there is a sense of like something where action wasn't taken. And especially like I said, there's an aspect of like youth. I don't know if there's anything like from your youth that could be influencing what's going on now with your health, but there's a sense of like whatever the imbalance is, or whatever's not in harmony. There is this feeling of like a dimmed fire, like a dim, and I often sometimes think of like fire also being connected to the heart, being the and connected to blood. But there's a sense of like something not being fully lived out or fully realized that stems from your childhood that could be influencing whatever is going on with your health right now. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I'll be honest, I don't know if it might not. We can try to see if we ask other questions, but that's what's coming up with the card. Um, with the guidance, it's interesting because the guidance is Ace of Wands in reverse. Um, and again, it's kind of there's a sense of like there's an opportunity for new vitality. Um, there's this sense of like dimming where something has been dimmed. And here there's an opportunity for like new vitality. I would even say with health that but it's connected to it's connected to passion. It's connected to fire and it's connected to action. And so with the reversal, because we are dealing with the wands, the Ace of Wands in reverse, there's almost like something is getting in the way. Like you have an opportunity for a fresh start, like for vitality, but there is something that's getting in the way. And perhaps it's like maybe there's you're closed off to it, or there's a rejection of it, or maybe there's a fear with it. But there is like whatever it is that was existing before, there's an opportunity for new vitality. And so I would just say that like um, be open to how that could be coming in for you. Be open to in what way that can be coming in. Outcome, it's interesting because I feel like we also pulled this one for you, Rolly, which was the Four of Pentacles, which does have to do with health. The pentacles usually represent health, the home, income. Um, Let me sit with this one just for a moment. Because it's interesting. You have so much fire in the first two, and then this one is sort of like speaking to the possibility of being, the pentacles have to do with the earth and being rooted and being grounded. And the Four of Pentacles especially speaks to that with stability, and with its reversal, it kind of speaks to an instability. And so there's if there's a feeling of it where there's like a potential lack of stability in the future that you could have to navigate, in terms of like it might not be an easy fix. Like whatever it is that you're going through, it's going to take like navigating, I don't want to say rough waters because it's not presenting in the form of rough waters, but there is like there's an important role that you're going to have in creating a strong foundation for yourself, especially in getting if you've asked about health in terms of like getting your health to the place that you want it. I would really think about your home and your body and like what you can do to find that harmony and balance within you. But I would also think about that in relation to um like passions. Is there like a creative avenue that you like? Is there something that you're passionate about? Like what are the things that really kind of bring that passion and fire in you? And I would lean into those to sort of help you in guide, like navigating and like building a better foundation for yourself with your home and your body. Um, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that comes up. Even if it's just helping you get through, like there's a whatever it is that you're navigating. Um, Sometimes being creative can help be an outlet for our energy and what we're going through.
Right. Thank you. Is that everything for Mary?
Yeah, she might have questions or there might be things that come up.
You did say, let me see, there was a reply. So this was 2 minutes ago. She's saying, thank you. It makes total sense.
Okay.
Okay. So it is a bit late by the time I can. So thank you, Mary. If you have any other questions, pop them in the chat or any other comments, any other feedback. So if we have time, Laura, I'd love a reading, please. And also a reading for Sacred You, if there's time.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we'll start with you.
Thank you.
Let me see. kind of want to do, I think a similar thing that I did with Mary, where I just kind of see like what the energy is coming up. I'll do an area of focus and outcome.
Yep, that's fine. Um,
All right, so it's funny, you got water, swords, and fire. Got a little bit of each. We're just missing the pentacles for you. So you have in this present energy, you have the Three of Cups in reverse. A lot of times with the upright position, that can be like camaraderie and friendship and celebrations. With the reversal, it kind of speaks to like either a breakup or a need to kind of like do some things on your own. Like you might not have, especially when it comes to, because it's cups, so it's with relationships, it's with what, it can be with, what was I gonna say? Emotions. Um, there's a sense of like something that you're navigating that you might not have the support for in terms of people around you and the way that you might have had before. Like there's a feeling of like something that you have to do on your own. Um, and let me sit with this for a second. Yeah, it feels like something like there are times when like we have to go through journeys on our own. And there's a feeling of that for you that there is something that you have to navigate. And I don't know that if it's something big or if it's something small, but there is something where you might not be able to have the support around you or with you that you might want. But it is like there's still an important like journey, especially with emotions that you have before you. That's the card that's in the present. Area of focus. This is a very interesting one. You got Five of Swords in reverse. Um, this is also like, really got this one last week too. Um, this was you in fact, you got it in your present position last week, I think. Um, my eyes are going to the clouds. Hmm. The sense of this is like, especially because you are navigating this, like there's something that feels like a solo journey. And with the Five of Swords in reverse, there's like a feeling of, and it's with swords, but still like, don't try to win at all costs. Like be cautious, be conscious of, there might be a difficult battle that you are facing. Um, But like, for example, if you look in the upright position, we're looking at a person who like appears to have won a battle with these people. And this guy's sad, this guy looks a little bit dejected. And so it often gives a sense of like whatever it is that we accomplished. It doesn't have to necessarily be a battle. It could just be that there's something that you're trying to accomplish or there's something that you're trying to get through. I would say it's not even necessarily related to other people. I kind of feel like it's related to yourself. Be careful that you are not putting yourself through unnecessary hardship or challenges or difficulty. Like, be conscious of however you're navigating it, that it's not being more taxing on you than it needs to be. Like, whatever you're getting through, you want to get through it, but you also don't want to you don't want to jeopardize yourself more. That is the feeling of that one. For the future kind of outcome card, you have the Five of Wands. There's a lot of power in this card that I can feel. Um, A lot of times with the Five of Wands, it feels like competing energy, or it feels like just energy that's going in different directions. What I would say with this one is just to be, there's actually two things that are coming up. On one hand, take time, like you might be pulled in a lot of different directions, which I know a lot of times you are with this, with Sacred You in general. But like, take time to allow yourself to be in all different directions. Like, even if you could take 20 minutes to like sit, allow all the things to come up. Like, there's a feeling of don't dim the energy that's coming out with the Five of Wands. There's a lot, I can feel a lot of energy with it, and I can feel a fire, and there's a creativity with it. But it's also going in a lot of different places. And so you, on one hand, need to take time and allow that. But also with allowing that, start thinking about where can you focus? Maybe like whether you need to delegate a wand or whether you just focus in on like, I'm going to focus on this one right now in order to accomplish what I need to. But I think there's a two part to that where it's like you got to allow yourself to feel everything so that it can be free, but also think about where you can focus some of that energy. Do you have questions? You're on mute. I can't hear you. Wait, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yes, I muted myself because I'm sitting here pedaling a mini bicycle underneath the desk because it helps to keep me awake when I'm really like when my body's going, I need to go back to bed. Okay, let's just get on the bike. Pedal. So I don't know if that noise is coming through.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so if you see me doing this, it's because
That's what I figured. I
I'm
figured
pedaling.
you were pedaling. My dad has a bike like that. So I kind of picked up on, I was like, oh, she pedals.
Yeah, I pedal to give my body so it doesn't fall asleep while I'm online. But as soon as I get off here, I'll be going back to bed. I've got lots of questions, but over the next week. We don't want to do it all today, otherwise we'll be here all day and everything else. Thank you for that. It makes total sense. Yes. What about Sacred You, the community is collective? What's in store, or what anything, any guidance for Sacred You?
Yeah, I'll probably do a similar thing. I'll do kind of read the current energy, look at guidance, and kind of just see what anything that's kind of coming up in the future. Okay, this made me laugh out loud. Okay. I'm kind of curious about this future card. I'll have to sit with that one. But we'll start with so the current energy I think it's so funny, especially what I was just talking about. But current energy that's coming up is the Seven of Cups. And so with this, there's like an aspect of like many choices. Like there's many things available. There's many opportunities. There's many things kind of like going on in the sense of like direction, but also, I mean, we're dealing with cups. So there is relationships, there's water, there's intuition, but there's kind of this sense of like there's many things available to us. But also with this card, it's a really important thing, especially with intuition and trusting ourselves, because um how like we have to be conscious of like sometimes we can tap into delusion. Like sometimes things are not we have to be conscious of like what's real and not. So we have the appearance of like a lot of options and opportunities in front of us. But like once you get close up to it, you might realize, oh, that's actually not like this isn't actually here, or maybe this isn't actually here. Like there's a really important role of like being realistic about what it is that we have in front of us, and what we can do with it. So I would say like that's kind of the energy there that like in one hand it's like that the world is your oyster, but also what's really there. Like how much, we can tap into the fantasy and the fantasy has its benefit, but there also has to be a very realistic grappling of what our choices and opportunities are. A guidance card for that, and I love this one, is slowing down. Not necessarily like pushing through or rushing through or trying to create more like movement with it. Another word is like a lot of times the chariot in its upright position can be about like determination in terms of movement. But I think that this reversal really speaks to going a little slower and also taking the time. Like the chariot can speak to like the vehicle that we're on, whether that's our body or whether it's our car. And so there's a sense of slowing down so that we can be intentional about what the direction that we're going and the choices that we're making. But also what's the collective vehicle? Do we have gas in the car? Are we nurturing ourselves? Like, are we in the best vehicle? I would even say that too. This might be out there, but like you've talked about different formats. Like you're on the website, but you also have school. So this is like there's a time for you too to kind of really think about like what's the vessel that you're using in terms of connecting people and getting out and like for the group, like what's the best space for us to be in? Um, this future outcome card is interesting. I think I get it, but let me sit with it. I mean, the thing that really comes up for me, it's the Four of Cups. Um, and the thing that pulls my attention the most is like the cloud with the cup coming out here. And so I feel like what comes up there is just like it's funny because like the first card was like there's a lot of opportunities but with this one it's like um be careful not to miss opportunities. And that could also have to do with why it's important to kind of like slow down a little bit of like you don't want to be overwhelmed with too many things, but also there could be something new that's coming in for Sacred You. Like there could be something new that wants to come in, and if we're not in the best position to receive it, we might not be able to see it or it might not be able to present itself. So I would say with that future energy, kind of thinking about like how are we realistic about what we're giving our time and energy to and what we're wanting to do in this space as a collective, um, slowing down to really see what that is and also getting ourselves to the best space so that like the right opportunities are coming in for us.
Okay, thank you.
Rolla, you got anything?
Any thoughts on that one, Roland?
Yeah, so there's just there's lots of synchronicity in what it is that's happening for that and like when you're talking about Sacred You and myself. So it's like so lots of things um to kind of ponder on because I find that sometimes when other people have messages, when we're listening and paying attention to the messages, we're like, hey, that kind of like, hey, that sounds like me, or that sounds like what it is that's going on. I don't know what it's called, but it's like that link, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of like, yeah, so there's lots of things that I'm pondering right now.
Yeah, that you're thinking about. It's funny, my boss at one of the places that I read cards at was saying that he's like a lot of times you're doing a reading and you're like, are we sure that this is for the other person? Is this for me? Is this guidance that I need? So I've learned to start saying, okay, who I'm creating the space, and if there's anybody that needs guidance that I can offer, but also if there's anything that you need me to see, universe, bring that person to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I appreciate you being here, Rolly. It always makes it, well, we've only done it twice now, but it makes me happy, and that we can talk tarot together, and Sophia, you as well.
Yes. Yes.
I appreciate even having the space to be able to do this, so thank you.
Good. No, well, I appreciate that you are here, which is good. I'm really happy. I'm really glad that you are. Truly, that we can offer it for you and that you've taken it up and things. So nice. Very, very nice. So thank you. Let me just have a look.
Yeah, see if anybody else popped on.
Wilma has come onto the website, but Wilma is one of our VAs, and I'm not quite sure if she's into tarot or not. I'll have to ask her. But no other messages. So,
Okay.
all good. So thank you ever so much. Anything else that you'd like to say before we say farewell?
No, I feel like what needed to be said was said, and yeah, I just feel very appreciative of the space and the opportunity to show up in it. And maybe you should go take a nap.
No, not yet. Not yet. I actually did have a nap before you came on. I went and lay down for 20 minutes and woke up in I think it was about 7. I think it was 7 minutes. And I go, okay, because that's what happens with my body sometimes. I go,
Yeah.
okay, so I can awake now, but now it's like, yeah, no, we've got to go back and have 2. Okay, soon. I will. And then I'll go swimming. It'll be fun. But we will say farewell to YouTube, and thank you, Rolly, for coming. And we will be back same time